I think it's important to start understanding how it is exactly that your body loses heat. Now there's 5 heat loss mechanisms: conduction, convection, radiation, respiration, and perspiration. Conduction is where the heat passes from the warmer body to the colder body. The warmer body in this case is my fanny. The colder body is a snow-covered log, and that log is cold. Well, so is the earth. If you lay down on just plain old ground, like sand or dirt or anything like that, you're going to feel the same heat loss. It may not be as profound as what I'm feeling right here, but it'll get to you very quickly, because the heat will pass from you to the ground, and you can't heat up the earth. And it can happen if you're stationary and the air is moving past you, or it can happen if you're on a bicycle or a motorcycle. The air is still, but you're moving. Either way, it pulls the heat away from you very, very rapidly. So your shelter needs to give you protection from heat loss through convection or the wind. Radiation. Radiation is heat loss into space. Now at night, when there's no sun beaming off the snow, the only thing around here that's going to be warm is you. And you're going to be the source of radiation. And once again, you're going to be kicking radiation out. It's going to be going up into space, where you'll be losing it. You see, we're the warm body again, and we kick heat right up into space. You ever notice how it feels a little bit warmer on a cloudy night? Or maybe you're outside on a cold night and it feels chilly, and then you step underneath a carport and it feels a little warmer. Well, if you took a temperature into that carport, you'd probably find out that the temperature is about the same. But outside, when you step out underneath that clear sky, the radiation from your body is shooting up into space. As a matter of fact, we lose somewhere between 60 and 80% of our body's heat production through our head and our neck. So one of the important things to do when you're looking for shelter is to, 1, wear a hat, and 2, search for something that can go over your head to help reduce heat loss. Heat loss through respiration is another way we cool off. Every time we breathe in cool air, we breathe out warm air, and we lose just a little bit of heat. You can see there that moisture on the inside is moisture that came from my lungs. This bag is also filled with warm air that came from my lungs. So if you're in a survival situation, what you need to do is be sure that you don't work too hard and increase your respiration rate. It'll dehydrate you and you'll cool off. But what happens is this. It's a cold, cold day or cold night, and you breathe in cold air and then you breathe out warm air. That means you're losing heat just through breathing. What can you do about it? Well, some people already know. You can put a muffler on over your face to help protect yourself that way. That way when you exhale, it heats up the fabric, and then when you inhale, the new air is heated just a little bit by passing through that warmer fabric. You know, it's really important in a survival situation that you avoid getting wet at all costs. Water conducts heat hundreds of times faster than dry air. So if you want to stay alive, stay dry. Normally you have about 3 minutes of survival without air. You have about 3 hours of survival without shelter. You have about 3 days without water. It takes almost 3 weeks for you to die with no food. I said that I didn't have too much time until the sun went down. But how do I know that other than just looking up there and seeing, well, the sun looks like it's about to go down. Here's a little trick that you might enjoy. It's sometimes called fist time. And all it requires is a fist or 2. Here's how it works. A fist, when you hold it out in front of you about like this, bisects about 15 degrees of arc. Now that may sound a little strange or not too useful, but when you know that 15 goes into 360 24 times, then maybe you can make the connection that, golly, 1 fist equals about 1 hour of sun time, because that's about how long it takes for us to see the sun in the same position the next day, 24 hours. So what we do is this. We put our fist out at the horizon where we think the sun is going to go down, and that's 1 hour. Another fist on top of that, that's 2 hours. Another fist on top of that, and that's 3 hours, and so forth. Well, all you need to do is to make a count to the lower edge of the disk of the sun. And don't look directly at the sun. The number of fists to the lower edge of the disk of the sun is the number of hours till sunset where you're standing. And since you'll see 4 knuckles on each 1 hour, you can say that this is 15 minutes, 30, 45, and an hour. So in that way, each finger is worth 15 minutes on a 1-hour fist. Now your hand may be a little bit different. Your arms may be a little shorter, your fist may be a little larger, or maybe you've got tiny little hands and long arms. Don't know. So what you've got to do is accurize your fist. Now, there's a lot of ways to do that. You could whittle a big fist down, or you can swell a big fist up, but the best way to do it is just to actually find out how many minutes one of these fists is worth. The way I recommend it is simple. Find the horizon, wherever you happen to be, and put your fist out at the horizon, with the horizon at the bottom of your fist. And count the number of fists it takes until your hand is pointing straight up in the air. If it takes 6, guess what? You've got a 15 degree fist. If it takes more than that, you could work out how many degrees it's worth, and from that you could tell how many minutes a fist will be worth to you when you hold it out like that. But remember, it's really important, don't look directly at the sun. I've learned over the years that quite a few backpackers will go out and spend a couple of $100 on a beautiful sleeping bag, very, very, very warm, good to 10 below zero. Take it on a camping trip and freeze all night long. The temperature was only about 40 degrees. Why? It's because they laid that sleeping bag right down on the ground, and their body was losing heat through its conduction. Well, that's one of the ways we lose heat. So we've got to be sure that when we make a shelter, or we select a shelter, that there's plenty of protection from heat loss through conduction.